Okay, sir, go ahead.
What?
Go ahead now.
Oh, now?
Just tell us in your own words.
Well, at first I gotta admit, it sounded like fun. You know, a lot of short-haired comedians, funny people and whatnot, all gathered in one hotel room. People that enjoy good humor. But boy, an hour and a half later was I sorry. What a mess. Nothing but cigarette butts, empty coffee cups, encyclopedias of Jewish humor strewn all over the floor. Boy, does my head hurt bad.
Thank you, sir.
What?
Thank you.
Oh, you making a movie of this?
No, sir, a record.
Ah, boy.
Going up to Woodschtick, looking for laughs. Take your brother Fred and your cousin Zelda. Going up to Woodschtick, bringing the news. Cleveland is out of style.
Shtick. That's what the comedians call the stuff that makes us laugh. But as history learned that memorable Thursday, organizing the world's first Shtick Festival was no laughing matter. An empty hotel room. Room 538, Hotel Rex, Woodstock, New York, to be exact. Right now, it looks like just another hotel room. But in a few short hours, it's going to be transformed into the largest gathering of shtickticians and their fans ever seen in or near Woodstock.
Hotel Rex, where the elite bounce checks. Oh, hold on, please. Hello? Oh, yes, sir. We're very short on accommodations. No rooms either. We've got 'em sleeping in the ballroom and vice versa. Oh, dear. Hotel Rex, how's your sister? Oh, Mr. Foon. Yes, well, the manager was wondering if we could have a new carpet for room 538 made entirely out of banana peels. Why not? Oh, yes, you'll have no bananas. Oh, dear.
From a block away or 1,000 miles to the Hotel Rex in single file, just to sit here cramped on Dacron Pile we came.
They came from everywhere.
Yes, sir, madam. Can I help you?
Yeah, this is a stick-up. Get it?
Oh, you want room 538. Please sign this register.
Yeah. Would you believe Mr. and Mrs. Farley P. Farquhar? Get it?
Oh, George, that's about as funny as a jellyfish in a peanut butter suit.
Now, that is funny. Say, you kids Jewish?
Hey, excuse yours truly. He just happens to be Sammy, son of the 6 to 9 Rise and Shine at live and lively WLAF right here in Woodstock, New York. Hey, peace and love to you beautiful people. And could I ask you a few questions? You two are Mr. and Mrs.
Farley P.
Oh, George, stop. Mr. and Mrs. George Lipscomb. We have an unnatural act named after.
Beautiful. Maybe we'll be seeing them up on stage in a while. Now tell me, good people, are there any little Lipscombs?
Oh, yes, we have two.
A girl and something else.
Oh, well, it's like I always tell my engineer stubby kids, you can't live with them, but of course you can't live with them. But say, what do your kids think of shtick?
Let me tell you something.
Sure.
Smiley. Kids and shtick are like oil and water. They hate each other. You know? I told my kid a moron joke,
Yeah.
you know. I started them out with something simple. You know? I put it in their language, you know.
Yeah.
I even changed moron to hippie. You know what? You didn't get it. The kid's a moron.
Kid's a
Get
moron,
it?
ladies and gentlemen.
You know what he does for shtick?
What's that?
I'll tell you what he does for shtick.
What's that?
He smokes it.
Oh, he smokes it, does he?
5 minutes, Mr. Harvey.
Oh, thanks a lot, Mickey. Oh, Mickey, and say, why don't you come in here for a moment, huh?
Wow. Who would ever have thought that me, Mickey McNebish, would be in the dressing room of Freddie Herbie, the clown prince of comedy himself?
Come on in, Mickey, and shut the door. You must have a hard time on the stairs, huh, little soldier?
I can get along.
Boy, definitely doesn't even know. Well, never mind. Listen, Mickey, I want you to look at something. I want you to see that thing. See that thing up there above my dressing table?
Yeah, it looks like some sort of a symbol, huh?
You bet your orthopedic shoes it is. It's a Star of David, Mickey, screwed onto a crucifix, representing all the religions of the world, whether they be Jewish or Catholic. And every night before I perform, I kneel down before this symbol, if you will, and I say to myself, Dear God, let me give love to and be loved by a full house.
Oh, gee, that's just beautiful, Mr. Herbie.
I got a percentage deal, you know.
Yeah, but how many people can you get in a hotel room anyway?
Oh, with God's help, Mickey, you'd be surprised.
Welcome to Woodstock. We're gonna do it. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce the comedian's comedian, and we'd like to thank that comedian for bringing to us, you know. But here he is now, the fabulous Mr. Freddie Herbie.
You're beautiful. Oh, too kind. You're beautiful. Peace. No, but thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you. But you know, ladies and gentlemen, we're fortunate in being able to kick off this festival with one of the great shtick kickers of our day. Of course, he couldn't be here in person because he isn't one. But I want to tell you, he's a beautiful human being as well as a close and personal friend of some people I've read about. A man I call president because he is one. A wit in his own White House. Thank you. Will you give a real Woodschtick welcome to a tape recording of the President Nixon, please? Let's hear it for him.
Good evening, my fellow comedians, comics, commissioners, and just plain commies. You know, I knew my life was to be sprinkled with humor years ago at Whittier College, but one day, while I was memorizing the Whittier telephone book, which, by the way, was wittier than most. But anyway, I saw my roommate throw his pet cat Shoo-Shoo against the door. Well, I laughed all the way to my next class, because after all, education is the key to a better America for all of us. But I heard a good one, and it reminds me of the one the fellow tells about the following story that I heard the fellow tell. It seems that it went something like this. The fellow walks up to me on the street the other day, so I bit him. But seriously, now that's not a true story. I never walk on the street. You don't know where it's been. Is this thing on? Boy, I've seen better audiences at the My Lai massacre. Golly, folks, don't you think you're taking this silent majority thing a little too far? But seriously, I can't see you, but I know you're a beautiful audience. Because festivals like this reflect what's best about America. Millions of people who can laugh at themselves instead of at me. Of course, the band wouldn't know they're drunk. And now in closing, it's like the good song says, be a clown, be a clown, be all the world loves a clown. Good night.
You're the man who came up with the idea for this festival, aren't you, Beemo?
Yeah, it's me, Beemo. Poo-poo Carnes is Woodstock. You know what's funny? I'll tell you what's funny. Now that's funny. And then I was doing that one night. I said, what would happen if we got 150, maybe 160 guys in a hotel room at the same time, and they all went... You see, together. And that's how this festival came about. I figured at $15 a head, I could clean up.
Well, Beemo, what do you think it is about shtickticians that makes them so attractive to the middle-agers who flock to this hotel?
Shtick.
Sweeter than the lines from a burly routine, higher than the wind from the mighty Catskills. Someone sets a laugh track off in your mind, tells you you should be there.
I don't understand it. I just don't understand it. These are grown adults here, and they seem to be happy. They seem to be having a good time. I mean, about in the middle of the festival, it started to rain, and leprosy broke out in the lobby. And this, I really couldn't believe, they just turned that into more shtick.
Oi, that could be a patient now. Come in and carefully.
Oh!
Ugh, mein Fatur, you crazy stunk! I hate you. Can I help you?
Doctor, are you the famous Dr. Woodschtick I've heard so much about?
That's me.
The Dr. Woodschtick?
Daddy himself.
Woodschtick, I'm sick.
Do tell, get well.
What does that mean?
What does what mean?
That.
That what?
That what you just said.
You're crazy. You need a psychiatrist, not Woodschtick.
Oh, gee whiz.
No, GP. Now, what's your problem?
Well, I've just read an article in the newspaper that says thousands of people may have leprosy without knowing it. And I think I've got leprosy.
Oh, you silly layman. You can't catch leprosy from a newspaper?
What does that mean?
What does what mean? Stop saying that to me. I'm a doctor, not a dictionary. If I was a dictionary, I'd be an unabridged Webster's Woodschtick-tionary. Now, to work. Take off your shoes and socks for ulceration check of your feet.
All right, doctor. Here we go.
Oi, your feet, they stink like the breath of a mule.
I'm sorry, doctor.
You're sorry. I'm the one that's got to touch him. Now, tell me, how long have you been dressing and undressing yourself?
Doctor, I'm 42 years old.
Oh, no wonder you did it so good. Okay, pass your feet over to me, and we'll do this scientifically. All right, here we go. This little piggy went to market. Tickles, eh? And this little piggy stayed home. This little piggy had roast beef, and this little piggy had none.
What about the last little piggy, Doctor?
I'm glad you asked that question. The last little piggy went to Heidelberg University, where he met his good friend Phil, who later turned out to be a brother by a previous marriage. Both were majoring in pre-med, and it seemed an ideal relationship. He was a cheerleader by day, and he was a cheerleader by day.
Well, Doctor, what does that mean?
Stop asking me that. You make me want to hurt you, and slowly.
But what about leprosy?
What about leprosy?
Do I have it?
Sure, you got it, and the worst kind of leprosy.
What kind is that?
Bad leprosy.
Well, is there a cure?
No.
You mean I'm going to suffer for the rest of my life?
No, I mean you're going to die.
When?
Now. I'm one doctor that still believes in shots.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a few announcements, and I mean these sincerely. Milt from Cleveland, go to the lobby and take your wife, please. Okay. Mom and Dad, please come home. We miss you. All is forgiven. Henny Youngman is boss with us. Your kids, Frank, Susie, and Muffin. Now that's beautiful. Beautiful. And they say there's a generation gap, but you know, everybody's crazy these days. Now, speaking for the promoter who had to leave to supervise the dropping of the rubber chickens from the helicopter, and by the way, wasn't that beautiful, huh? Well, then let's hear it for him. Yeah. All right, I just want to say on his behalf, all right, hold it down now. I want to say on behalf of the promoter that we are taking a bath on this baby. There are over 12 people in this hotel room who did not pay the $15. Yeah, they came disguised as bellboys or what have you, but in the spirit of good shtick, all right, but in the spirit of good shtick, we're gonna pull the old switcheroo and end up laughing at them. Because, hold it down now, because each one of those mothers, and I mean this sincerely, is gonna be thrown out on his ass. We know who you are!
Well, shtick here is much the same as it is in India, except that we are never attacking our sacred cows. Unless, of course, they are attacking first. But mysteriously, if I may get mysterious for just a moment, knock, knock, who's there? And, of course, nobody is.
I see. Well, if I'm not mistaken, you're the gentleman who was conducting a workshop in Pratfalls in the Savoy room, aren't you?
Yes, I was, but it fell through.
That beer really goes through you, you know? Yeah, Mr. Name.
You haven't played it enough, Eddie. Listen, I still don't know why you wanted to host a Fakakta festival in a Fakakta hotel room like Fakakta this.
Honey, you're a beautiful human being and a beautiful manager, but I want to tell you something. Shut your ass.
Freddie, be sensible. Every time you've played a room with cross-ventilation, you've died.
Arnie, this is bigger than cross-ventilation, bigger even than me and you. Nothing like this has ever happened before. This is very important to me, and not in a material way, no. God, no. But in a monetary way. Listen, for all we know, this could lead to a spot on the Mike Douglas show, huh?
Thank you, but seriously, ladies and gentlemen, we do have an important message from a man you all know as the late, great Bert Gerstein's writing partner for over 4 years. They wrote some great films together, and I don't mean these X-rated Michigusses. I mean films for the entire family. Oh, you know what I mean. Things you could take your wife to and look her straight in the face after it's over without spitting up. Yeah. But of course, I've been talking about a man who really sincerely needs no introduction. None other than the great Teddy Tolby.
Thank you, Bert. Oh, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you. You're beautiful. Listen, I want to take this opportunity. I know Freddie's going to hate me for saying this, but I've been watching from backstage, and he is a really beautiful man. Isn't he? Yeah, of course he is. Okay, first of all, are we doing it? Are we beautiful? Yeah. Okay, hold it down. I've just found out something that I have to pass on to you, and I don't mean that in a funny way. Go into my life, if you know what I mean. Okay, listen. There's some blue beer cans going around the room. And I just heard from the Toastmaster General himself. Yes, Georgie is here, bless his soul. Of course you did, Georgie. I don't mean to put anybody in a boffer, but I have to tell you this. The beer in those blue cans is warm. Now look, if you've started drinking that stuff already, then swallow it, because warm beer is, you know, like the kids say, its own thing. Just keep it off my thing, if you know what I mean. Okay, now there's some cold beer going around, too. There's some old champagne that the hotel gave us on a trade-out. So you have fun, you stay warm, and are we doing it? Yeah, the liver ain't saying we can't do it, because right here we're doing it. Are we doing it? We are doing it, are we? Come on, tell me we're doing it. Come on, all you beautiful mugs.
Yeah, Teddy, we're doing it. Now I know I burnt tired, but you know, ladies and gentlemen, sure you are, Teddy, you're halfway there. But all kidding aside, now we're coming to the part of the festival that makes me suffer. Because it's about suffering, and you've seen me up here for an hour and a half, and haven't I suffered enough? Thank you. But if I may get serious here and speak sincerely for just a moment, a lot of humor is based on tragedy. And by that I mean, where would Shtick be at today if we couldn't laugh at death?
A Williams Zapruder production in association with the Massachusetts Automobile Club. One Night at Dyke Bridge, as told by Senator Edward M. Kennedy to a battalion of highly paid and obedient scriptwriters, starring Buster Crabbe as Senator Kennedy. The scene, Chappaquiddick Island, off the Massachusetts coast. The time, a July evening. A somber party called to discuss world problems is in progress.
So I see no way of West Germany recognizing the Odenisa line at this time.
Good point.
Thank
Good
you.
point, Senator. But say, why aren't you wearing swimming trunks like the rest of us? You look as though you could use a little exercise.
Well, thinking about the problems of the world and how I can help to solve them in the years following 1972 is all the exercise I need, thanks.
Oh, touche.
Well, Senator, maybe it's time for all of us to just turn in.
No, I don't believe in the use of marijuana, and I never did.
Oh, no, Senator. I said we should all turn in.
Well, I'm sorry, but I don't happen to be an advocate of communal living. However, I have
No,
a
Senator, what Sean was trying to suggest was that it's late and we should all individually turn
I
in.
see, yes, of course. Well, I personally think it's immoral to betray one's friends to the authorities, and I'm sure you all feel the same way. Now, if you don't mind, I'll be taking my leave.
Senator, sir, don't forget your coat.
Oh, thank you, Burbank, and here's a book of food stamps for the family.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Future President. We's all one vote for you,
Of course
sir.
you are.
Well, Senator, before you leave, how about a Coca-Cola for the road?
Oh, no, thanks, Tim. I hate to burp while I'm driving.
Oh, Senator.
Why, yes, Mary Lou.
Could you give a girl a lift home?
Are you chaperone, Mary Lou?
No, I took the bus here and I forgot. It's daylight savings time and now it's too late. The buses, they don't run anymore.
Well, why don't you take her home, Senator? She's got a bad leg, you know.
Well, I don't know.
Oh, look, I don't want to make it look bad for you, Senator. You've suffered enough. So I promise I'll sit in the trunk.
Oh, I never could pass up someone in need. Come along. Nice weather we're having, eh, Mary Lou? This road feels a little bumpy, but I'm sure once we get on the ferry, it'll be smooth sailing.
Oh, the famous Kennedy win.
As the night wore on and the car wound its way down the driveway leading from the house, Senator Kennedy wearied from the strain of driving on the familiar road with only a voice in the trunk for company. He prudently pulled to the side of the road and massaged his weary temples while sipping strong black coffee from his trusty thermos.
Do you want me to drive, Senator?
Oh, no, I'll be all right in a minute, Mary Lou.
Yes, but if we don't hurry, I'll miss lockout. And besides, you should save your strength for 72.
Well, since you put it that way, here are the keys. I'll get in the trunk.
Oh, no, I wouldn't hear of it. You just lie down in the back seat. Nobody will know, and we'll be at the ferry soon.
Well, I don't know, but all right.
Oh, you're so decisive. These roads are so dark and ever so treacherous. Lucky I've got both hands on the wheel.
Look out, Mary Lou. If I recall the map correctly, there's a bad turn up ahead.
Oh, now, Teddy, you just lay back down. You need your rest. Everything's going to be okie down.
Suddenly, everything went wet. What followed was a nightmare that was not, as it turned out, to be believed. Hemingway once defined courage as grace under pressure. But this wasn't grace under pressure. It was Mary Lou underwater. Without thinking for a moment of his own personal safety, Senator Kennedy panicked. Suddenly, he remembered what his father once said years ago.
Teddy, bring me my pills. And while you're at it, always remember, if you're ever trapped underwater in a car with a girl, make sure both of you get out alive, or else some politically ambitious judge may write an inquest report that can make you look bad.
Those words ringing in his ears, the senator filled those massive Kennedy lungs with air and dove repeatedly into the murky waters. Finally, he pried open the door and rescued the near frantic and half-soaked but grateful Mary Lou.
There we are.
Oh, Senator. Senator, you've saved my life. How can I ever repay you?
Oh, no time to think of that now, Mary Lou. There's lockout to worry about.
Yes, but what about your car?
No matter. A mere material possession.
Oh, but we'll never be able to explain the DeSoto at the bottom of the pond. Whatever will... I know. I'll go get it.
Mary Lou, wait!
But it was too late. Inspired by the senator's heroism and driven by her uncontrollable devotion to the Kennedy family, the plucky Mary Lou plunged into the dark waters in a vain effort to save the helpless DeSoto. As the senator stood on the bank, keeping a lonely vigil, suddenly... a heart-stopping explosion ripped through the already troubled waters, destroying forever the car, plucky Mary Lou, and the senator's auto club card. As a chastened but wiser Senator Kennedy made his way back up the dusty road, wondering how to break the tragic news to friends and media alike. Once again, words his father had spoken rang in his ears.
The end. Or is it just the beginning? And will you bring me those pills?
We made history! The what yours truly, Freddie Boy, calls beautiful. And God couldn't pay me enough money in the world to make me say that if I didn't believe it. Oh, I'm telling you, I am one happy fella tonight. Oh, yes, folks. And I'm not going to let this beautiful moment die here at Woodstock. In fact, I'm going to continue it for 2 glorious weeks at the fabulous bad tit room of Mr. Irving D. Amalfitano's Pharaoh's Arcade Hotel, right in the heart of the edge of the strip. Hope you can make it. Thank you. Oh, I'm just going to be taking a couple of weeks out from what I'm extremely humble and at the same time very proud to say is a very busy benefit schedule, working on behalf of America's most trusted diseases. Thank you. Thank you. No, listen, it's my heart. No, but seriously, we're running late and the girls need the room. So, here's a man, thank you. Here's a man who can tell you just how beautiful we are because he owns this dump. He once owned a hotel room so small that, but that's another story. Let me just introduce Mr. Hotel Rex himself, the man who helped put us and Woodstock on the map. Of course, I'm talking about Mr. Rex Mustang.
You did it. I didn't think you could. You know, I've never seen anything like this. Really. And the thing that gets me was that it was all done on the American plan. So this is what they call Stick. It's America. 147 paying guests and only 4 deaths. I heard that Stick is love. But during this incredible hour and 45 minutes, it was Woodstock as we know it now. This is what I learned. Stick is Stick. Before you came, I was just an ordinary hotel owner. You made me famous. Me, Rex Mostel of the Hotel Rex. We may even get a star in the Hoboken Tribal Guide next year, thanks to you, really. You know, it's an interesting story about the Hotel Rex. I was originally going to call it the Moscow Hostel. That sounded too intellectual, you know. Now I find out it was Stick. You were beautiful. I was beautiful. We're beautiful. Can you hear me? Beautiful.
Earwitness News. For your ears alone.
Good evening again from the award-winning Earwitness News Desk.
Hello, how are you?
What is it that makes men kill, even men who are under the stress and sometimes strain of the wartime battlefield? Well, the answer may be shockingly obvious, but you won't be surprised. For the details, here's Rich.
Thanks, Harry. They call it pot, grass, bull, and cannabis sepulveda. But whatever you call it, don't call it late for the war. It's there, Mr. and Mrs. Middle America.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you may remember just a few weeks ago when we took the entire Earwitness News team on our first annual tour of Vietnam, bringing a full 60 minutes of our best news, weather, and sports to those information-starved boys. While we were there, Rich and I interviewed an actual soldier to find out the role marijuana allegedly played in the My Lai massacre. Now, alleged in its own time. At our award-winning Earwitness News microphone now is a member of the Screaming Eagle Division who has smoked marijuana, Private Christian Flower. Private Flower, could you tell us about the widespread use of marijuana among American troops?
Yeah, sure. Well, let me put it like this. I mean, there's some of us that use it, and then there's some of us that don't use it at all.
In other words, use is widespread.
No, but...
Private Flower, what we're wondering is whether back in the States you might have been a member of some weird, militant commune under the thrall of an hypnotic and sometimes bizarre leader who initiated you into dope smoking and killing.
No, that happened here.
Private Flower, what we want to find out is what effect this marijuana habit, fueled as it is by a very potent Asian variety distributed by the Viet Cong, what effect does it have on the fighting man?
Oh, I don't know, man. You'll have to ask him. I'm just a clerk typist.
Well, doesn't it make you want to kill?
Being a clerk typist? Nah, it's kind of a drag, really.
No,
But
does
what it
smoking
makes you
marijuana in a combat situation make you want to kill?
Oh, no, man. It makes me want to type.
Just what are
Kinda
you trying to cover up?
Easy,
Mark?
Hey.
easy. We won't get anything out of him that way.
Damn right.
Remember the fly in the vinegar? Now, tell me, Private, you've got buddies, don't you? Hmm?
Sure. As a matter of fact, there's this one guy. He's my pal. He's from, San Diego, Minnesota.
Sure you do.
someplace
Well, tell
down
me now,
south.
do your buddies smoke marijuana?
Wait a minute. What sign are you? Huh?
Well, that's a good question.
Uh-huh.
Don't blame me for asking. Here's my press pass, buddy.
No, man. I mean, under what star were you born under?
Oh, well, Chris, that's an interesting question, as a matter of fact, because my mother was in show business. Not many people know that. You might say I was born in a trunk. In fact,
Your
it
mother
was...
was an elephant?
Well, you worthless little...
Far out.
Easy, Harry. Easy.
Hey, what
Don't
I-
let the battlefield situation rattle you.
What did I say, huh?
Never mind, Private. Now, suppose you tell us exactly what effect marijuana would have on, say, a whole unit of men.
Oh, that would be one stone unit, man.
And by that you mean they would be set off into a frenzy of murder and pillage?
No, they'd probably be giggling a lot. Like I'm doing.
All right, Private Flower,
Television.
let's get down to cases. As an admitted marijuana-smoking soldier, what do you think was responsible for the My Lai massacre? Rock and roll music?
Sex education?
Permissive pornography?
No. I think that the fact that the mess hall serves meat has made us cannibalistical towards our fellow human beings. Way too much yang in our diet, man. Not enough yin. It's got us, yang in when we should have been yinning.
And so a combination of factors probably contributed to the unfortunate incident at the equally unfortunate My Lai. Among them, marijuana, rock and roll, sex, and bad meat.
There you have a first-hand look at the Noyan War. And Earwitness News continues after this.
This is Scott Glenn Armstrong,
Imitation astronaut.
reporting from the highly simulated shores of one of the Great Lakes. Well, a good lake, perhaps not a great one. We've sealed 2 entire lakes inside these plastic bags for a highly improbable demonstration. The lake on my left, the so-called Lake A, has been polluted by ordinary oil and oil byproducts, the kind you drink every day. The lake on my right, Lake L, has been polluted solely by new substandard oil with the exclusive anti-visibility additive F-Retina X. Now, let's see the difference.
3 years later.
Well, as you can see, Lake A has been reclassified as a septic tank. Not a great septic tank, but a good one. Lake L, on the other hand, still looks the same through its clear plastic container. Let's open that container, and I'll pour some of Lake L on Jane here, our demonstration seabird. Well, as you can see, this bird died without any sign of coating on its wings, a clear contribution by substandard research to the big job of environmental deception. So let's all do our part. If you're polluting a lake, remember substandard oil with F-Retina X. There isn't a conservationist alive who can see it. Scott Glenn Armstrong,
Imitation astronaut.
reporting.
Going to school these days is a risky business, what with the new math on the one hand and the killings at Kent and Jackson State colleges on the other. Now, forgetting about that Jackson State thing, 3 separate investigative bodies, not to mention our own Earwitness News team, have tried to place responsibility for the extracurricular tragedy that cost 4 Kent State students their hard-earned lives. Perhaps the most controversial conclusions were reached by the grand jury in Kent, Ohio, which found that rock and roll music, sex education, and permissive pornography...
Hey, hold it, Harry. You're missing a page. I'll take it.
Well, of course,
That Kent
incremental
grand jury
union
declined to
here.
indict the
Earwitness.
National
I'll be back.
Guardsmen who shot the students, instead indicting 25 students. What went on behind the 12 angry closed doors of that jury room, only the jurors themselves know, and, of course, Earwitness News.
Page 12.
Look, I've got a ball game to go to. Let's get out of here. We all know the guardsmen are innocent. The students asked for it, that's that.
No, Mr. Starker, I think you're being a bit hasty.
Huh?
After all, the students were just young boys and girls.
How can you tell the difference with that long hair?
Well, it's not long enough to cover my eyes.
Oh, I give up. I'll never see that ball game. Biggest game of the year, and I gotta sit here arguing with some broad.
Ball game? Let me tell you something, Mr. Starker. I come to this country 30 years ago not to see ball games.
To see the
but
ice capades?
No, to see justice. The very lives of men are involved here. Young men whose only crimes were to be young in a time of old.
Listen, Mr. Kraut. You talk about your justice? I fought against your mama land in World War II so that punks like me could live. Not so punks like those could reap the fruits of my punkhood. Where's your justice in that, huh?
Look, my son.
I'm not your son.
I'm not your mother, but I do know a thing or two about having babies.
Wait a minute, what does that have to do with anything?
Mr. Tucker, they're only babies.
I say it's an open and shut case. The guardsman shot in self-defense, that's all. We've seen it 1,000 times on GE Theater.
Look, I've got it. Let's not be naive.
Yeah.
Huh?
Gentlemen, lady, if we cannot exercise our precious freedom of speech with responsibility, I fear we shall lose it.
And that freedom of speech and 25 cents won't get me to the ballgame, Buster.
Ah, look, don't tell me about those kids. I've got a son.
So do I. And that's what I'm talking about. They could have shot our sons.
Father. Oh, Father, you've changed so much since Germany.
Son, I thought you were dead. No. But we'll talk about that later. We've got indictments to issue.
Gentlemen, I don't like to generalize, but I'm afraid those guardsmen are murderers. I say let's indict them.
Let my people go.
Let me go. The students had it coming. Let's not make a federal case out of it.
Now, look, I've got an idea. We've got to indict somebody after all the state's money we've spent, right? Now, if you don't want to indict the guardsmen, let's indict the students.
I hate to say it, but I think that's a good idea.
Thanks, Pop.
The chair, Pop.
But it isn't over my eyes.
Okay. Is that it? Indict the students. Yeah, I can remember that.
So we compromise in a great American tradition, yeah? That convinces me. Tomorrow I apply for citizenship.
Oh, Dad, you're crying.
Wouldn't you?
Earwitness News continues after this.
Bernard, can we go out to dinner tonight?
Oh, Lord, Sybil, I'd just as soon fall straight into bed.
You're not tired again? What an old stick in the crud you are. This is supposed to be our golden years, Bernard, and here you are, all rusted up. What's wrong with you?
Oh, I don't know, Sybil. I just don't know. It seems like I just don't have the old poop anymore.
Bernard, why don't you just die?
Say, are people talking like that to you more and more these days? Are you run down, suffering from lead sufficiency anesthesia? Or as a doctor I know says, can't get the lead out? Are you looking enviously at those irritating young people just bouncing around? And don't you wish you had 1/10 of their boundless energy? Well, you can't. Forget it. No way. That's merely a feeble fantasy of a senile mind. But say, here's bad news. Now there's a product made especially for you. It doesn't do anything, but it's made especially for you. I'm talking about Damn It All, a miraculous pseudoscientific discovery specifically designed to milk millions of dollars from older persons trying to stave off the last vestiges of bogeyhood, that is to say, death. You see, Damn It All is 100% medically ineffective as proved in government laboratories. It can do you no good. But we tend to believe, based on preliminary reports, that it may not do you any harm either. But don't take our word for it. Try a bottle of Damn It All yourself. You've got nothing to lose. You're old.
Meanwhile, later.
Bernard, can we go out to dinner tonight?
Oh, Lord, Sybil, I'd just as soon fall straight into bed and drink a couple of bottles of Damn It All.
Oh, you've been drinking that stuff for 2 weeks. Hasn't it done you any good at all?
No, but it's company.
Damn It All. Not a tonic, not a cure-all, not a powder, not a flake. Simply a vile-tasting gelatinous liquid in a bottle you can suck on. Ask your druggist, he knows. Try Damn It All for 10 days and see if you won't feel stronger fast. You won't. Turning from the human side of the news, President Nixon continues to claim that the recent elections represent a victory for his administration and the Republican Party.
Harry, it's interesting to note here that many Democrats are claiming it as a victory for their party, especially the ones who were victorious.
Well then, as Earwitness News so often calls it, the truth must lie somewhere in between. If indeed the truth can lie at all. More about that at 11.
But behind the scene, highly original sources believe Mr. Nixon is worried about the election results and is contemplating changes as he looks ahead to 1972.
Start out each day believing that this day will be a new one. All right. Remember, the brightest morning can follow the darkest dawn. By letting negative thoughts flow out and positive thoughts take their place, one can harness the tremendous power which is within the grasp of all of us. Yes, I'm beginning to feel the power. John, can you feel it? Huh? Can you?
Feel what, Mr. President,
The power of a positive president. The waves of yes magnetism beaming like a powerful radio wave from right here behind my eyes.
Behind you, right. Well, that's fine, Mr.
Sure you
President.
can feel it, huh?
Yeah, of course I
Yeah.
feel it. Yeah, it's very nice.
Very good.
Now, sir,
Yes.
I think what the election proved was that we didn't hit law and order hard enough.
Election?
Now, I'm not saying we were soft on it, no, but I've had my boys working on some proposals here that'd make a sailor blush.
Hold your horses, John. You know, before we can harness the brightest morning, we have to let the darkest dawn flow out unsaddled.
What, sir?
John, before you say another word to me, I want you to say something to yourself.
Oh, sir, I happen to be in a very bad mood today, and talking to myself can only make it worse.
John, there's no such thing as worse. There's only better.
All right, sir. It won't make me feel any better.
Now you're talking. I want you to say to yourself, John Mitchell, today I'm gonna win.
All right, sir. Today I'm gonna win. Now, about
now, wait a minute,
the thing
John. Wait a minute. Now, you didn't mean that.
I didn't?
You can fool a lot of the people, John. But you can't fool our end, Richard Nixon. Just like you can't fool the people of America. You see, John, the election was a victory because the people knew that I knew I felt it was going to be a thing that I believed it was. Now, I want you to say it again and feel it and believe it with every fiber of your unharnessed grasp. Come on, John. Take my hand and say it. Today I'm going to win.
Very well, sir.
Take both hands, John. Billy does.
All
All right, now.
Yes.
There's the end zone.
End zone.
You've got the ball.
Alrighty.
Now, let's steal that base.
Okay.
Today,
Today,
I'm gonna win.
I'm gonna win. Yes. Good. Yeah.
Boy, that feels good, John.
Certainly does. Now, Mr. President,
Oh.
I'm very glad that we won today, but what grabs me, sir, is that we lost in November, and I'd like
You can
to
let go of
find...
my hand now, champ.
Yeah.
Here, I'll clean that up.
Oh, thank you, sir. Now, look, sir. For all extreme purposes, we lost California, we lost Illinois, we lost Indiana. And we lost them. Why? I'll tell you why. Because the people felt we weren't hard enough on crime.
We
Now,
didn't lose them, John.
No, we didn't. Oh, sir. Now, take this no trial bill. This can give us the kind of image that won't let hoodlums walk around the streets free like you and me.
John, we didn't lose them.
I beg your pardon, sir.
Winners never lose.
They never did. Well, we finished second, all right? And what we must...
Oh, now look, John. When members of my team begin to talk loser talk, they get sent down to the minors.
Oh, sir, there's no point in that. We never win West Virginia.
All right, John. You've done enough. You can go now. I've got important work to do.
All right, but Mr. President, what about these bills?
Well, I don't care. Pay them. Do I have to do everything around here? I'm just the president. Don't mind me.
No. I'll talk to you later, sir.
Yeah, well, don't do it on my account. Because I'm nobody. I'm just your president. That's all. I'm not a big important attorney general. No, sir. Hell, I'm not even a good attorney. I'm just Richard Nixon. Well, I won't have me to kick around anymore. Gee, I wish I had a taco. Huh.
Okay, Mr. President, bring
Oh.
out the champagne. It's
Oh.
Mr. Campaign.
Perfect day. Oh.
Hey, why the long face, old mopey eyes? The rat libs are on the run thanks to yours truly.
Sparrow.
Numero uno minus one.
Sparrow.
And counting.
Look, Sparrow, I'm in a very bad mood today.
Yeah.
If we're going to talk, let's talk seriously, huh?
Sure.
Now, we've been friends for you've been my vice president for a while now. Tell me something. Am I a loser?
You're no more a loser than I am.
All right, well, I'll rephrase the question. Now, if you didn't know me, and you saw me in a group of people, like the Republican National Convention. All right, now I'm there.
Wait a minute, let me get this straight. Am I me who just doesn't know you, or am I somebody else who doesn't know you?
You're you. Now, you see me, and all of a
Who
sudden...
are you?
Who are you? I'm me. I'm the president. Who else would I be? Now, I'm walking, striding to the rostrum, doing my best, trying to lead. What more can I do? People are looking at me with hope in their eyes. Now, you see me. I don't see you. But there's a certain something about me. Now, is it a winner something or a loser something? Huh? Well, what do you say? Well, come on.
What are you wearing?
What am I wearing? I'm wearing what I'm wearing now, what I always wear.
Oh, that.
What do you mean, all that? Spiro, do I have oomph?
Oh, look, Mr. President, come on, snap out of it. Now, you know as well as I do that we won New York, we won Tennessee, we won Maryland.
We did.
I saved Reagan's neck.
I did.
Well, we did. Now, if that isn't winning, then I have no business being in politics.
Well, sir.
And that's what I wanted to talk to you about. Let me explain something to you. The reason we won is because your vice president went on the offensive early and stayed offensive right up to voting day. So don't blame me.
But John said we lost California.
Well, John said, the way you talk about John, maybe he should be your vice president.
Huh?
Just kidding. Look, here's a schedule of what I want to do for victory during 72. But most of all, I want to be turned loose. No holes barred. All the time. If some senator is a tubercular tumescence of tomatose halitosis, I want to be able to say so.
Well, you did pretty good just now.
Yeah, but who heard me? Just you, Mr. Nobody at the Republican convention, wearing the same dumb suit. Why, you don't even know me.
Sparrow, I think I want to be alone now.
You think? You are alone. I'm the only friend you got around here.
No.
You should hear what the cabinet says about you when you're not here.
The cabinet? Well, now, wait just a minute. Now, Rogers, I know he likes me because when we were in New York, why, he got us freebies to Hello Dolly.
Ha!
Well, damn it, I can find out what the cabinet's saying about me right now.
Okay.
Don't have to take it from a flunky. I'm a man of action,
Yes, sir?
Madge.
Yes, Dick.
Madge, get me Walter Hickle immediately.
Well, what's that going to prove?
And Madge,
Yes, sir?
don't tell him it's the president calling.
Now, that's a good one.
Well, who shall I say is calling?
Who should I say is calling?
Oh, tell him it's me, Mr. President. He'll talk to me, all right.
It's me calling, Madge.
No, tell him it's Spiro.
Right. It's Sparrow calling. Tell him that.
Oh, yes, Ted.
Good. Now, he better not be out to lunch, is all I can say.
Hickle here. How are you, Sparrow?
Just a minute. It's working. He thinks I'm Sparrow.
Good.
Hello.
Hello, Walter.
Hello.
This is Sparrow.
Yeah.
What do you think of that damn Nixon character, anyway, huh?
Mr. President, well, we've been trying to get you on the phone for weeks. Yes. What's the matter with that answering service of yours?
Well, speaking as the vice president, that Nixon guy gets my goat, too, you know.
That's cool.
Hell!
Alliterate. He'll think it's me. That's my trademark.
Yeah. Walter, you've noticed I'm illiterate, of course.
No. What are you saying? It's alliterate. Alliterate.
Well, Walter,
Mr. President, I told you we'd blow the election if we
No,
alienated
Mr. President's
those
not
youths on
here
the
today.
permissionless issue. Now, those kids, they just like to mess around.
I'm Sparrow, you
now,
see.
if we want to survive in 72, we'd better loosen
He's
up
not
a
here.
little bit and...
What happened?
I think he was on it.
Mr. President, let's put our cards on the table. We won this year because of one person who's standing in this room right now, and he's not you. I'll give you a hint. It's me.
Sparrow, I'm warning you. Now, there's going to be some changes around here.
Now you're talking. The new speechwriters can work in the larger office, and the bigger expense accounts just...
Sparrow, get out of here!
Well, okay, I'll see you later, but you... Darn, I hope it was nothing I said.
Oh, I don't know. Did we win? Did we lose? What the hell happened? Oh, God. Bring me together.
Hello, Dick. Welcome to your dream. I'll be your guide. This one's called the campaign, and it's a rough one. So better hold on. Here we go.
Law and order. 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 Law and order.
Sparrow, here are your speeches. The gloves are on.
Now you're talking.
No. Now you're talking.
Oh.
And get Goodell. Good night.
No, my friends. The time has come to revile and roust the radical leeches and to throw out the rotten peaches.
White House President speaking.
This is Senator George Murphy calling, and I'm asking for your help.
George, could you speak up just a little bit?
Mr. President, I think we better take some newspaper ads and call the Democrats anarchists or fat schmoes or something.
So what has become obvious to veterinarian Washington observers is that the vice president's speeches, which stink, represent a cheap appeal for Southern votes. That's the way it is.
The faggots of Fulbrightian fantasy must be flushed from their fins, or pansy permissiveness will putrefy this poor planet pretty soon.
Yeah, name it. Boy, there's a tool and a half on that guy. White House, Nixon speaking.
Dick, this is John. Martha's been telling me that you're not going to campaign.
John, be reasonable. It's the middle of football season.
Look, it's the middle of the campaign, and we need
running.
you. You're our quarterback.
Sparrow can handle it, John.
What's
Hold
that?
on.
Mitchell, Nixon, over here. Couldn't help overhearing. Get in that campaign. I need more agents.
Well, sure, everybody needs more. Everybody needs...
Remember my files.
Yes, sir. I'll speak in Cleveland tomorrow.
Hey, you see those demonstrators? They'll be on TV tonight, but I've got good news for you. They're not the majority of tomorrow's leaders today, and they're not the leaders of tomorrow's majority. They're bound. My friends, you're witnessing what's worst about America.
Said he was going to Cuba in a handbasket. And well-informed White House sources say that the president, who stinks, may be speaking for the administration in pushing the law and order issue and ignoring the economic issue.
Hey, let's go. Oh, I love being the guy the moms love to hate. Do you know the way to go?
Oh, let's get out of here, Mr. President. They're throwing eggs.
Let's stick around for a minute. Maybe they'll throw a taco.
Walk Street, Nixon almost killed in semi-automatic rock barrage. Read all about
And, you know, my friends,
If you ended all the wars and all the racism, and if you ended all the poverty tomorrow, there'd still be bums who don't like Richard Nixon. So why end them?
I'm sorry, Mr. President. We at the networks feel that the tape of your Phoenix speech stinks. Besides, the audio's not clear. The viewers won't understand it.
Of course they'll understand it. The president makes things perfectly clear.
And now in grainy black and white, the President of the United States.
My version comedy in black and white tonight, because that's the way I see the prudence. You know, we're asking you to support the
Mr. President, due to circumstances within your control, the audio portion of your dream has been temporarily interrupted. Do not adjust your approach. It's too late.
And from the NBC News election desk, this late projection of the overall race between the Republicans and the Democrats who control the nation's fears, it's too close to call. Too close to call. Too close to call. Too close to call.
Law and order, law and order.
I must have been dreaming. Well, I'm glad we won anyway. Okay, Mr. President, let's make some decisions. Madge.
Yes, Dick?
Call Spiro. Tell him no more of those speeches. I'll send him a news set later. Call Mitchell. Tell him the Bills are dead till 73. Call Hickle and fire him. Oh, and Madge.
Yes, Dick?
Why don't you buy a new dress? I'm getting tired of wearing the old one.
Yes, Dick?
Oh, where was I?
Oh, yes. Start out each day believing that this day will be a new one. Remember, the brightest morning can follow the darkest dawn. By letting negative thoughts flow out and positive thoughts take their place. Positive, maybe I'll underline that. Yeah. One can harness the tremendous power which is within the grasp of all of us. Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
And now from award-winning Earwitness News, the most reliably managed news source in the free world. Good night.
Stay tuned for the record label following immediately.